Deputy Prime Minister Musalia Mudavadi has been the talk of the town since he boldly challenged Prime Minister Raila Odinga for the ODM presidential ticket in the forthcoming race to State House. Within ODM circles, Mudavadi is fondly called Deputy Captain and has been seen as a loyal ally of the Orange Team captain, Prime Minister Raila Odinga. But the Sabatia lawmaker seems intent to turn the tables on his party boss.
Kila mara wanasema, oh, Musalia asemi. Sasa, nimesema. Na mimi nimejitolea muhanga, nataka tikiti ya ODM. Niwe wa kubeba bendera. Niende nibwage wale wengine.
It is not the first time that Mudavadi is challenging Odinga for the ODM ticket. In the run-up to the 2007 polls, he sought the ODM ticket, but finished a distant second with 391 votes, while Odinga emerged top with 2,656 votes. However, that poll was viewed by many observers as a mere formality. What shocks many now is Mudavadi's insistence that nomination of the ODM flag bearer be held at the county level, as opposed to Odinga's preferred National Delegates Conference in Nairobi. Mudavadi's demand has left many of Odinga's allies within the Orange Party uncomfortable and triggered anxiety within the ODM rank and file.
Mimi nikisema natafuta kitu kwa ODM to be the party nominee. Na mimi naheshimu Raila, yeye ni party leader, but I say it. Now, delegates wakiamua ni yeye. Then, if I respect ODM and the party, then I should be prepared to say I live with the decision of the party.
Wengine wengi wanaingia wanasema oh sijui nini, sijui Musalia atoke aende wapi sijui Raila achukue mtu mwingine awe ndio running mate yake. Hapana.
But what has changed Mudavadi so much that he is courageously standing up to Odinga, yet he has always cut the image of a loyal second-fiddle player?
Musalia Mudavadi is a student of Moi who did his internship under Raila Odinga. It's only that he's a very quiet man, and behind that very quiet demeanor, we tend to basically, just put him aside, say he's just a project of Raila Odinga. That man behind that very quiet facade is a very dangerous man. So really what has happened this time around is that the real Musalia Mudavadi has woken up and he's told his boss, guy, I want that job and I'm going to give you a run for your money. And I think that this is the kind of thing that should make Raila very afraid.
ODM insiders maintain that the Odinga-Mudavadi rivalry is simply a storm in a teacup and a manifestation of the party's internal democracy. Could their face-off be a political strategy by the Orange Party to distract its political competitors?
This, and it must be recorded, is not a political strategy of ODM. And if it is a big joke. And the problem with election jokes is that they get elected. Musalia Mudavadi might be put forward to us as a joke, let's just play. But that joke can get elected.
For a long time, Mudavadi has cut the image of a non-controversial politician and a diplomat. His critics, however, view him as a political coward who settles for less just to avoid controversy. But is he a coward?
Musalia is a younger version of Mwai Kibaki. Mwai Kibaki was called General Kigwea, the cowardly politician. But right now, he is the president. My hypothesis is that Kibaki is not and was never a coward, just like Musalia Mudavadi. So Musalia wearing the cowardly cloak, which is what he seemed to have been wearing, what it does is that it causes everybody who has their sharpest verbs coming towards him to tuck them in and say, this guy is a coward, why fight him? And when you do exactly that, then your opponents are completely disarmed. You say, there's no point of fighting Musalia, there was no point of fighting Kibaki because he was a coward. And that's how you become king.
Until he firmly set his eyes on the ODM presidential ticket, Mudavadi was not ranked among Odinga's main opponents in the first presidential contest under the new constitution. A ruling by the ICC pre-trial chamber to confirm post-election violence charges against two presidential contenders, Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto, has complicated the political equation. Should Kenyatta and Ruto be barred from the race to State House, would Mudavadi benefit?
And then say that Uhuru and Ruto will not run. The best bet that they will have is Musalia Mudavadi and not Kalonzo Musyoka. Because Musalia is a kind of guy who you are comfortable with. He is not controversial. He's not as sneaky as Kalonzo is politically. And as a result, they're most likely going to gravitate in the direction of Musalia Mudavadi. And if that happens, then Mudavadi becomes king. There will be no argument around that. And Raila becomes history.
And should Mudavadi pursue his presidential bid to the end, what then would be Odinga's chances? Yet he is persistently rated by the opinion pollsters as the man to beat in the forthcoming presidential contest.
Yeah, Raila without Musalia Mudavadi is like a car without wheels. You can switch it on, you can rev it, but it won't move. It's just a shell, in my view. And I say so because the Luhya nation is the biggest voting bloc. Even if you're to look at the last election, it's the biggest voting bloc that Raila has had. And in the absence of the Luhyas, especially the regiment around Musalia Mudavadi, Raila will be left on with the Luo nation. And the Luo nation, in terms of votes, they're about 1 million and something. How will he make the 7 million that you require for 50 plus 1%?
Prior to declaring his presidential ambitions and challenging Odinga for the ODM presidential ticket, Mudavadi had come under intense pressure from his Western Kenya political backyard to plunge into the race for the country's top job. The voters register as at 2010 indicates that 4 counties in Western Province, Kakamega, Vihiga, Bungoma and Busia, had a total of 1,336,321 registered voters. The 2009 population census results indicates that the Luhya community is the second largest bloc with a total of 5,338,666 people.
My brother and cousin, Mheshimiwa Mudavadi, sometimes might find it very difficult to tell you these things. He is under a lot of pressure from these people kwamba in 2012 asimame kama presidential candidate. Na wewe Mheshimiwa Prime Minister, ukiona Mudavadi ameanza kufikiria namna hivyo, sio kwamba anakunyima heshima, ni kwa sababu tumemwekea pressure. Na wewe Mudavadi ukiogopa, ujue kwa boma, buru kubwa ikikataa kupigana, yule mdogo anafunguliwa alafu anafanya kazi.
Wahenga wanasema ati vita ya panzi ni furaha ya kunguru. Tunajua hiyo.
Let us politic smartly on this one. This time we should not be caught flat-footed.
Mudavadi and Odinga are currently on separate county-to-county tours, selling their presidential candidature to the ODM delegates. The main question posed by political observers is, will the Orange Party emerge united after the potentially divisive nomination process?
Na mimi nimesema ikiwa kama ni Musalia, nitamuunga mkono. Na yeye vile vile amesema ikiwa kama ni Raila, ataunga mkono.
We must go back to history and look at what happened in the 4 Kenya nominations with the Kijana Wamalwa. When Kijana beat Raila fair and square in that nomination, Raila bolted out and he went and he formed NDP. Which means that if you're to use that historical fact and bring it, extrapolate it on to the present, it becomes obvious that if Musalia Mudavadi beats Raila in the nomination through delegate system, then Raila must bolt out. And remember that Raila is ODM, so wherever he'll go to, he'll constitute an ODM.
And should Mudavadi pursue his presidential hopes to the end, whether he clinches the ODM ticket or not, what then could be his main disadvantage as he seeks the country's top job?
Musalia was mentioned in a number of scandals in the past as finance minister. I think he was in the golden scandal. He was in quite a number of other scandals, and scandals which Kenyans have not completely forgotten yet. So if you're to pit him against Kalonzo Musyoka, for instance, Kalonzo Musyoka is as Christian and as clean as they come in terms of scandals. But Musalia Mudavadi still has that tag, especially when he was finance minister. If anything, that is one thing they will use against him, that this man has a past that is not particularly clean. And they might even pull out Chapter 6 of the Constitution, which is currently being interpreted conveniently for political purposes.
The 52-year-old Sabatia lawmaker joined the political field in his youthful days in 1988 when he succeeded his late father Moses Mudavadi. Married with 3 children, Mudavadi holds the record as the last and shortest-serving vice president of Kenya under retired President Daniel Arap Moi's regime. Francis Gachuri for the Kibaki Succession Series.